Most people consume content about growth and never actually grow. They read the posts, they watch the videos, they collect the motivation, and then go back to the same life. The same patterns, same excuses, same version of themselves. And this isn't it. The MindForge podcast exists for people who are serious about the mental work, the discipline, the identity, the hard internal stuff that nobody talks about honestly. And this podcast exists to go even deeper. Every episode, we take what's on the page and we crack it open. The stories behind it, the science underneath it, the application you can actually use. If you're looking for hype, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking to be challenged, to think harder, to leave every episode a little more clear on who you're becoming and what it's going to take, you're exactly where you need to be. I'm Caden Floyd. This is MindForge Podcast, brought to you by Warrior X Training. Let's get to work. Last week, I told you struggle is the mechanism. That hardship isn't the detour, it's the road. That the forge doesn't wreck you, it reveals you. And I already knew the question that was sitting in the back of your mind before you even finished the first episode. Okay, Coach Caden, I get it. Struggle is supposed to build me. But how do I keep going when everything in me wants to stop? And that's exactly what we're going to get into today. And I'm not going to be gentle about it. I am going to be honest with you because that's what this show is. Something that nobody in the self-help world wants to say out loud is that motivation is lying to you. Not occasionally, but every single time. It shows up loud. It makes you feel like this time is finally different. Like you've found the switch. Like the version of you that you keep promising yourself is finally here. And then the moment the work gets hard or uncomfortable or boring, it's gone. And you're standing there wondering what happened to that feeling. And I want you to hear me on this because this isn't me just being hard on you. This is me saying that you were never broken. You were just running on the wrong fuel. The fitness industry, and again, the self-help world, they have built a billion-dollar machine selling you a feeling. Another video, another picture, another new workout set, another new pair of shoes that's going to make you run faster. It's just another hit of motivation that keeps you consuming instead of actually building anything real. And here's the truth. Motivation is a spark, and sparks are useful, but you cannot run an engine just on sparks alone. And I know that you've felt this. You've started something with real fire behind it. Maybe it was a goal, a new routine, and it was something that actually mattered to you. And you rode that feeling hard, maybe a week, maybe even 2, maybe even a month. But then life showed up. You got tired, the feeling faded away, and without the feeling, the action stopped. And that's not a character flaw. It's just what motivation does. It was never designed to last. And the problem isn't that you lost it. The problem is that you were depending on it. And that waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel inspired, waiting to feel like it, that wait has cost you more than you probably want to sit with right now. So let's flip and look at the other side of the coin. Let's talk about discipline. And before I go any further, I want to kill something because most people hear that word and immediately go to the wrong place. They think punishment. It's white knuckling your way through life. It's suffering through things that you hate while some internal drill sergeant screams at you to keep going. And that's just not what it is. Real discipline doesn't feel loud. It feels quiet. It's the decision to continue when nothing is pushing you anymore. It's getting up when there's no external consequence for staying down. It's doing the work when the outcome is unclear and the progress is invisible. It's staying in motion while doubt sits nearby, not arguing with you, but just watching. Discipline is a decision that is made in advance that overrides every weak excuse that your present self will come up with later. I'm going to say that again. Discipline is a decision made in advance that overrides every weak excuse that your present self will come up with later. And think about what we said last week, right? The forge is the environment. It's the heat, the resistance, it's the pressure. But the forge alone doesn't shape anything. A blacksmith doesn't just throw metal in the fire and walk away. He picks up his hammer. He works it day after day. Not because it feels good, not because he's motivated, but because he knows the consistency of the work is what creates the result. And that's discipline. It's showing up with the hammer every single day, whether you feel like it or not. And here's what I've learned. A lot of people aren't exhausted from the work itself. They're actually exhausted from negotiating with themselves, arguing with the alarm, debating the workout, revisiting the decision to start for the 10th time this year. They're waiting to feel ready enough to act like the person they say they want to become. And in that waiting, time keeps moving anyway. And confidence doesn't come first. It doesn't arrive fully formed and then get tested. It's built. It's built through evidence, and action creates evidence. So every workout that you skip when you're tired, every routine that you abandon when life gets loud, those aren't small things. Those are hammer strikes that you chose not to take. And that shape or lack of it, that's on you. And I say that not to be cruel. I say it because nobody else is going to tell you the truth that directly, and you deserve to hear it that way. So I'm going to connect all these dots for you so this makes sense. Struggle is the forge, and discipline is the hammer. And you need both. And most people only have one at best. I'm going to break this down. Some people have struggle without discipline. Life has hit them hard, and they've been in the fire. But they come out the other side bitter, stuck, and no different than when they went in, because they endured it without intentionally working through it. The heat was real, but the hammer never showed up. Other people have discipline without struggle. So they follow the plan, they execute, they grind, but they've engineered their life so carefully around comfort that nothing ever actually tests them. So yes, the hammer is moving, but there's nothing worth shaping. When you put them together, that's when transformation actually happens. That's when you stop just surviving and you start becoming something different. Two people can go through the exact same pressure, the same setback, the same season that forces them to confront themselves. And one comes out clearer, sharper, and more grounded, and the other comes out heavier and more convinced that nothing ever changes. The difference usually isn't the difficulty of what they faced, it's whether they kept picking up their hammer. Like I keep saying, struggle is the mechanism and discipline is the bridge between who you are right now and who you keep sensing you could be. And that bridge doesn't build itself. It's built one decision at a time, one rep at a time, one return after every drift. I'm going to get specific because I've watched too many people leave a conversation like this with a concept that they felt good about, but then they go right back to the same patterns. And understanding something and actually doing it are two completely different things. So I'm going to close this gap for you right now. 3 things, that's it. Number 1, you need to define the non-negotiable minimum. So what I mean is I want you to pick 1 or 2 habits that you do regardless of your mood, energy, or circumstances. So it's not your ideal routine, it's your baseline. Something small enough that you can complete it on your worst day. Now remember, the point is identity consistency. It's not intensity. The second thing is I want you to remove the negotiation window. Most people lose discipline in the gap between thought and action. I want you to shrink the gap. Decide in advance when and where you do the thing, then execute without revisiting the decision. No reevaluating in the moment, just initiation. 3, I want you to track returns, not perfection. What do I mean? Don't measure your success by streaks or flawless execution. You are human. Measure how quickly you return after breaking the rhythm. The real signal of discipline isn't never falling off. It's how fast you pick up your hammer and continue to keep going. Now, same question I asked you last week, but a little bit different. Where are you depending on motivation right now? What are you waiting to feel before you act? Name it. Because whatever that thing is, that's exactly where your discipline work begins. Write it down and put it somewhere that you'll see it. And then tomorrow, not after the weekend, not on Monday, not another week, but tomorrow, do it without waiting to feel like it. Not perfectly. Just do it. Here's what I need you to walk away with today. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are like weather. You cannot build a life based on weather. Discipline is the decision to keep showing up in the struggle, through the struggle, and after the struggle. It's the hammer in the forge, and it's the difference between someone who goes through something hard and someone who is actually changed by it. Your life becomes the accumulation of what you repeatedly choose to do after motivation leaves the room. So the question was never whether can you start. The question is what you do when it stops feeling new, when the urgency disappears, when the routine stops feeling like a turning point and starts feeling like the actual work. That's the moment, and that's where the real version of you either shows up or doesn't. So stop waiting to feel ready and pick up your hammer and stay in the forge. I'll see you guys next week. That's a wrap on today's episode. If this hit home for you, go read the companion post over on the MindForge blog at warriorxtraining.com. That's where it all starts. Every episode lives inside one of those posts. So if you want the full picture, that's where you go. Follow the show, share it with someone who needs it, and I'll see you back here next week. I'm Caden Floyd. Stay in the forge.